It's never just one problem. As a woman, you can cope with one thing, you can cope with two things, you can cope with three things, and you start juggling all these problems and eventually it becomes overwhelming.
When I was younger, I didn't particularly worry about what was going to happen when I was older. It was a different world to what it is now.
I took a risk in a relationship and moved in with my partner, and it was at that time that my job had fallen through, and so I was now living with somebody and financially struggling, and then the relationship went south and I really felt like I had no options. I went to a women's refuge because I chose that over couch surfing in a situation that wasn't safe.
One of my daughter-in-laws was looking after me. I was living with them for a while, and the family wanted me to find a permanent accommodation. I was about 70 when I went into the Depression, and I was in government accommodation, and I wasn't very well, so my family had to find somewhere where I wouldn't be on my own.
My children had grown up and moved out, so I wasn't needed in mum mode anymore, and it was a difficult stage of adjustment where you've been the protector and the provider for so long, and all of a sudden you have no security and you're the one that is having a rough trot and needs a bit of help, and asking for help was really difficult.
After my husband passed away, I needed to slow down. I knew it in my head, but my body just wouldn't listen. One of my oldest daughters said, "This is it, Mum. You got to settle." I did. I gave in from Brisbane, came back to Canberra, and she found this dome for me.
Living at the refuge still leaves you feeling vulnerable. The support that I found was lacking. It didn't really help me with my self-esteem. It didn't really help me with my self-worth. It made me feel like I was part of a system and that there was no way out.
I think that the main thing for older women, that they know that they're going to have somewhere to stay, or they can stay where they are and afford it. I think that's the main frightening part, because women do not have as much money as men when they retire on a certain extent, and they're more vulnerable, women are too, whereas men can sort of look after themselves.
Older women particularly need freedom of choice and 100% safety.
The refuge system is a great first step, but that's all emergency short-term accommodation. When you're in that environment, you feel like you don't want anyone else living with you. You want to live independently in your own place. But what I'm suggesting is an option to sharing. When you get the right personalities, it can be a wonderful family environment.
If there was more vacancies for people like me, it would be a much happier country.